Welcome back to another edition of My Humble Opinion. I'm Will.
I'm Daphne.
And I'm the guy in pink.
Yes. And we're going to talk about gender roles and how those things go in different aspects of your life. So, Mondo, gender roles. When you grew up, was there specific roles that you had?
Yes,
relationships?
there was.
Is there music in your head, brother?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
And the name of the song is called Toss That Salad.
Don't put your chin in it.
Or your nose.
Go ahead.
No, so I'm gonna start it with this. I was working one day, and this guy, I think, what business was it? I think it was a jewelry business. It's like a butchery now, and there was graffiti on the side of the building. He was cleaning it off, and he was saying how back when he was a kid or his parents were kids, it was set where the mom would be at home to mother the kid, nurture, make sure they eat, make sure the kids is active in their sports, getting to and fro, and then dad would be out and work to provide. I don't know how I got out of breath singing that song. So, that was a gender role, right? Granted, 2020, it's not always like that when you think of single parents, or even if it's a two-parent home with the economy being like it is, mom and dad have to work. So, like, how they'll say, oh, well, a woman's place is in the kitchen. Nah, bruh, you got to get up in there.
Somebody got to cut those neck bones.
Oh, I don't eat slave food, so I don't know nothing about it. Because they neck bones come from the plantation.
I don't eat meat.
You stopped again?
Well, depends.
But yeah, I remember even writing a paper in college, like talking about sex versus gender.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So your sex, you're born male, female, and then gender. It's like if you have two small kids and you put a toy truck and a baby doll, is the boy, is it just something in him that makes him go to the truck, and is it something in the little girl that just makes her go to the baby doll?
But I think you give them the truck first. That's what make them think that they deserve the truck.
Always with my kids, I always let them, the girls too, they can play with
Whatever
cars and stuff like that. Now, granted, little boy, you can't. Dang, that beverage got me burpy. You can't play with the baby dolls. So, like my two oldest kids, my daughter, she have all the Barbies and Kens, and she would call it the boyfriend doll. She'd be like, "Here, brother, you can play with the boyfriend doll." So I really wouldn't trip, as long as he don't have that Barbie doll combing the hair and trying to braid it, French braid it, and.
What about you, Daph?
I've always understood gender roles to be like, females are in a certain position and men are in a certain position. Like growing up,
position, huh? Nah, talking my language.
Not the salad position, but
is it dressing on that salad? Or is this a dry salad?
No,
spit on it.
It's not dry. Let me tell my story.
All right, go ahead.
So growing up, especially in the South, a lot of people were more of like, women, kind of, some worked, some didn't, but it was just more a traditional thing. They were like, women don't work, and then men kind of, take care of the women. But that's always been my expectations, and I would assume that if I was to be in some type of situation, I always wanted to be like the female of the situation where I didn't have
that
to
sounds
do
like
whoa.
Nah,
I'm saying the female.
You say if you were the
so you want
I
to be
will-
the female.
the
What's the other
female
person?
in the situation, whereas I played my role as a female. You know what I mean? Not no weird. Come on, guys.
Give her an L. Give her a G. So no, okay.
No, not like that. But I do know some guys who are like that. Who they have situations where they, are
Well, I
more
think
feminine.
Before you chime in, I got a quick question because I know you're going to go on a tangent. So let me go on my rant.
More feminine in situations.
He is.
So
Go ahead.
why is it when we talk about gender? So in the LGBT community, right? A lot of I guess, behavior, actions, movement. Because you can have a guy that's gay, right, or bi or whatever, and he just be like typical
Dude.
just regular. I mean, whatever his sexual preference is, whatever because it don't matter. You don't care. But then it'd be a guy who could be like a G, a B, a T, I don't know. But then you act like gender. You say you identify as a woman now,
Right.
and then all your characteristics of how women act is like this real negative stereotype. The loud, crazy hair, the 10-inch long fingernails. You know what I'm saying? Like all this is that considered like gender too?
Well, I don't know because I'm not a part of LGBT.
But you've seen the guys like, and I don't even mean like the
Community.
drag queen kind of guys that do it, who could be straight but just do it for
like dressing
entertainment
up.
or
Right.
whatever.
Yeah.
Like RuPaul?
I'm actually not going to be able to answer that question for you because I don't know the answer to that
But
question.
what's your humble opinion?
If why are they like that?
No, would that be considered gender?
I don't think it would be considered gender for them because some of them present themselves in that manner. However, they still want to consider themselves as men. But then there are some in that situation who consider themselves to be transitioning or transgender, you know? And so once they get over to that transitioning or that transgender side, I think that's when they decide the gender part. But I really don't know about the LGBT LMNOP community like that because that's not my place, so I don't want to offend them.
Okay.
You know what
Oh,
I mean?
oh, you don't wanna offend nobody now.
Not have the answers to what they are because I don't live that community.
XYZ.
Well,
I can just only give my humble opinion.
my opinion is that when you look at gender, a lot of times I think that it can get confused because we can put them in a position where we can change a person's gender, right? Or what they think they should be doing. Like you said, you put a truck down in front of your son all the time and not a doll, right? So you're gearing him towards that gender, right? But are we set? Is that predestined? Like, is he already going to be that way, like you said, or is he going to go for the doll or whatever? But when you look at it, when you look at gender roles in the household, I think that those sometimes can do more harm for the kids than people think.
Right.
Because if you tell me that a woman's supposed to wash dishes and a man is not, and I grew up and now I'm single and can't wash dishes,
Right. You
or I
cook, you
can't
can't
feed
clean.
myself
Yeah.
and I can't iron, like is those type, because those are gender roles, right?
Yeah.
They're say these are women things. Man, take out the trash. You go over a woman house and all her trash is just in the kitchen.
Yep.
Well, I'm waiting on my brother to come over to take the trash out. I don't take
For a
trash
man.
out.
Yeah, but men aren't going to lack the basic skills that their mother has also taught them within her gender role in that household. She's still going to teach her child, her son, how to wash dishes and clean and do things. Although, respectively, as an adult, he would more or less want a woman who could care for him.
But who do you think plays more into or try to use gender roles to their
Men.
advantage?
Men,
That was quick. I was almost done with my question.
it's okay.
Why?
I'm quick like that.
Why?
Because a lot of men feel like they should be taken care of, and a lot of them are big
So
babies.
you know how
and-
men feel internally, huh?
I don't, just as well as I don't know about the other communities. So don't come and try to turn around and check me on that because no, I don't. I'm just going with my humble opinion how men are babies and punks and they be needing
Yes,
help
I am. Yes, I
sometimes.
am. Yes, I am. But
So-
that doesn't mean that
That you're not important?
right. No, but I think it's two-way street because it's like you said. No, I think okay, I'll agree with you, but I think once a woman is with a man, then she's like, yo, you the man here, so this is your responsibility to do X, Y, Z.
Right.
Right. And I always say when you hear the term, well, you won't let me be a man, you know.
Can't nobody
dudes-
stop you from being a man.
my point, and that's what I was gonna say. So then you get those women, and like you said, no woman can stop you from being a man. But I think some women are so used to not having a man and doing, and
Some
so
men
they don't
are
know
not
how to
so
let
used
a
to being a
so they
man.
don't know how to move out the way to let the man do what he does, right?
Do you think that that's why some men are so intimidated by strong women because they
No.
never had? Let me finish. They never had to be a man, right? Or step up and do what a man should be doing. And then they have a woman who's putting them in a position that she's strong and confident about herself. And he feels like she's not letting him be a man because he don't know how to take charge and do what he's supposed to do. And she's not used to having a man that do what he's supposed to. So they're both struggling with each other. Someone who's looking for a man and someone who don't really want to be a man. Because there's a lot of men or males out
Right.
there that are looking for women to take care of them, like you said, and don't want to be a man. They want to play the gender stereotypical
Sounds
role.
like a lot of insecurity
It is.
within that.
See, and that's why I was saying no, because I don't think no woman can intimidate it. I don't think no man is intimidated by a woman, right? But then I have to look at it me like I'm not intimidated by a woman. You can be more successful, have more going on than me. I'm still not intimidated by you. So putting
more for
in that
us.
situation to where it's like, hey, let me handle this. But if you keep not letting me handle this, I'm going to step off, not because I'm intimidated, but because
don't want to fight.
Exactly. So I think what happens when they say, well, men is intimidated by strong women. No, they ain't. 'Cause first of all, what man don't want a strong woman? Not that you need a strong woman to take care of you.
Right.
But why would you want a weak woman who ain't doing nothing, that don't got no drive, you know what I'm saying, no nothing. Granted, you might not be where you want to be at, or she might, I'm saying, her on the woman, she might not be where she wants to be at, but it's like, okay, well, I'm here, let me help. You
Well,
know
how
what I'm
long
saying?
in a situation do you stay until you figure out that person has no drive, or they're not a strong woman, or they're
You can
not?
tell.
Yeah,
You can
I think
tell.
you start
You
doing
tell.
your little research. Like you
Come-
start looking at things, and you know if a person is going to be stagnant or
Yeah,
not.
but-
If they can't talk to you about their goals and their aspirations, and if you're going to be with them, you can't see them working towards it. Like I say, ABW, always be working, no matter what. So if I got a goal and I tell you that goal, but you never see me work towards it, maybe I was just telling you what I thought you wanted to hear.
That's
Whatever
good.
role I thought you wanted me to play as the man, I say, oh yeah, I'm gonna do this and that and this and the third.
So with that, you can tell instantly. Basically,
Yeah.
it's a broad answer.
Well,
It's what you're saying, right? So that's give or take what, a couple of weeks. You can already tell.
Well, I think it's.
Depends on what it is.
Yeah, I think it's like just in conversation, and I think that if you're not matching up with the person, you're just gonna lose interest, right?
Right.
And then we'll ghost them, right?
Right.
Right.
And I think that's kind of what it is. I don't think. I just think it's just that intuition, that feeling you get, and you be like, yeah, this ain't it. This ain't it. I think it's both ways.
But we all go into a relationship knowing what role we want the other person to play, right?
Yeah.
So we go in and we say, if I'm going to be in this relationship, this person's going to have to play this role for me. Like for myself, I love to cook, because I don't need a woman that can cook. That don't mean anything to me. If you can't cook, you just can't. That's between you and your mama and your big mama, right? I'll teach you a couple dishes here and there, but that's not.
Oh, he's
that,
a chef now.
Yeah,
But that's
unless it's
not.
a crab broil. Bring it to him.
But that's not a point where it's going to be a downfall for me. Like I know how to do my own laundry, so if you never had to do laundry, I'm not going to fault you.
I don't want nobody doing my laundry.
Them
I
little
actually-
freaks.
No. No, that's it. Because it's not that I don't got like Gucci and all that kind of stuff, but I work hard for my money, pay for my clothes. So if I'm going to wear nice North Face sweatshirts and stuff,
And it's brand new.
so I want to stay crispy. So I might know how to wash my clothes where I can keep them looking decent, and then you wash my clothes, have it in the dryer for 13 hours, and then now it's shrunk
that
up and
gender
faded.
role, that
I
gender
just
role
figure
means
you
nothing.
just have a man and you throw it away and buy another one. He could just take care of it.
We don't have the luxury of that.
Those regular guys don't do that.
Yeah, 9 to 5 guys. I get you that North Face. I better see it next week. But do you think that people get caught up in that? Like they go in sometime and they know what role they want a person to play, but because they don't have that conversation, we were talking about communication. They don't communicate with that person about what role they are seeking from that person.
Well, that's the thing, is the communication.
Well,
People
what do
don't
you mean
communicate.
by role, though?
So say, for instance, if you're in a relationship and you say, okay, you're going to do the dishes or whatever. Like, I don't like doing dishes per se. Oh, I don't mind doing dishes, right?
Okay.
So they're going to do that, the cooking, the cleaning. Say if you got kids, you guys going to divvy out those chores for your family without any gender roles. Not like, oh, she's always going to cook because she's the woman, or he's always going to do this because he's the man. Take the trash
Gotcha.
out. A woman can take trash out too, A woman can fix a sink.
Because when I'm out of town, what's happening?
Oh, the plumber's coming over, baby.
Laying that pipe.
Boom. Pew, pew.
Yeah.
Two pipes.
No,
Go ahead.
but because I think with having kids and being in relationships, and then it'd be like dating somebody that's a little bit more tidy than I am. So they'll be constantly picking up after the kids. Like me, I'm just gonna wait
Till the
till
kids do it?
till they done, and then clean up together and make the kids like kind of clean up, because I'm just like, what's the point of keep running around cleaning up? They gonna
Tiring
keep
yourself
messing
up.
up, right? Yeah, what I'm saying, getting frustrated. So me, it's like, okay, y'all done. That's it. That's enough. Cleanup time, and then we might make a cleanup song. Because of
Hey,
course I like
clean
making up
clean
songs.
up, everybody clean. That's a song. So what do you guys do? Any one of you think that you have a specific gender role that's just your role? Like no matter who you with, this is what I need to do.
Well, that's kind of like what's those traits, like those love, is it like
Love
those
languages?
Languages, yeah.
I don't know. I can't be around a woman and she pumping the gas, and I hate for women to go get gas at nighttime.
That's your job.
Always, yeah. If I have to come drive to meet you, because
Right.
if I'm out, no, I'll come pump the gas.
Yeah.
What about you?
I'm more of a person who's always seeking some type of protection. Like I want people to make sure it's fixed for me or work for me, or I'm not scared or something like that. I'm
Yeah.
a protection seeker.
Yeah.
I'm a problem solver. I want to be the one who take the burdens away. Like
Yeah.
come to me with the problem, let me figure out what the problem is that can best
Yeah.
do for both of us. I want to be that person because I'm like calm even in crazy situations.
Yeah.
So bring me your craziness and I'll give you one less thing to be crazy about.
Yeah. See, like with me, I'm the same way, and I had to be careful with that because I got in trouble a couple times because sometimes people come to you with their problems. And they not necessarily want you to solve it. They just want you to be a listening ear.
Or some advice.
And then
Yeah.
me, I'm like, okay, look, this is all you got to do, boom, boom, boom. Or I can call so and so, and
Right.
And it's like, I didn't want all that. I just want you to listen. And it's like, oh, so I've got my trouble in that, trying to always be
Yeah.
the quicker picker, fixer,
Yeah.
upper.
But then if you are a problem solver like that, do you ever feel like maybe sometimes people want you to continuously solve problems?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think that if it's not broke, don't fix it.
Right.
Right. So if I'm the problem solver in the relationship and you're more of the authority in the relationship, like if you're just talking about like kids or family dynamics, then I'm not going to step on your toes, and I may have to come to you and be like, look, this is what happened. What should I do? And it's not because I'm in charge as the man and I'm the head. It's that you're better at the situation. So I don't care what gender role we may have or people think we should have. I'm going to do what's best for the relationship and what's best for our family unit. And if you're stronger at something, then that's just what it is. I don't care about gender rules.
That's why I think ego. I think ego gets in the way of gender because men and women have ego, and sometimes I'm thinking that women have a little more ego than the fellas. I think guys are more easier to kind of fall back. Like I think a guy will admit his
Inadequacies?
Yep, more quicker than a woman.
You know,
No, go ahead, get your laugh in. Y'all know I can't spell or pronounce words, but y'all know what the hell I'm talking about.
that was one of those plantation words. He couldn't get it out.
Yeah, y'all
But-
know I got a second grade education.
But
and
we
I,
Should have met us in 1965.
I did. That's when they started letting y'all go to school, go into public schools and stuff. No, so a guy, he admit like, hey, I'm not good with money. Like I
Right,
can make
right.
the money, but
Right.
I'm not good at handling the money. You know what I'm saying? Which sometime of a woman like that, she's not gonna say that.
Right.
She's just like, we just gonna wait till that shut off notice come.
I'm going down to the church to see if pastor gonna be able to give me something on it. But do you think when you look at men and women and the roles that women play for us men, right? So I think sometimes us men rely on women way more than they rely on us sometimes. They always think about, the protection and being able to provide and those type of things. But you think about it this way, when you play that, you're looking at gender roles, the woman is usually the softer side of the relationship for the man in some cases. But if a man will say, hey, I'm gonna take all my money and not put it in the bank, but where he's gonna give it to? His woman. Hey, hold this, right? If a man is hurt, if the world hurts a man, he goes home and cries to who? His woman, right? Everything that that's about us sometimes is connected to a woman, whether that's intimacy with that woman, it can be your sister, your mother. It's always that female there that kind of balance you out.
Yep. And that's why a lot of women, I think they don't get, once a man gives you that, he's placed all his trust and
In you,
vulnerability
right.
in you. So it's kind of like if you, I don't want to say a woman messes it up, but
they
if she
do.
does something to kind of tarnish that, it's really tough. Because once a dude get to that point where he's intimate and opens up and pour out to you, like on for real, not like on the surface level, but go deep.
Right.
Girl, you get anything you want from that man. Go ahead, because I see you over there looking like
She couldn't wait.
turning
It's
your
like
lip.
double
and
dutch.
No, I
She's
was,
ready to
I
jump
was
in.
just listening to
ahead.
what you were saying. I don't. I just think
your
that
makeup looks nice.
thanks.
Got your eyes all done. Okay.
They pop it.
Yeah. So I think that trust is a bond.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I also think that men are a little bit more immature than women initially. And
60-40.
But what do you mean by immature though?
Well,
like silly, goofy? Because
no,
I
well,
have a
okay,
very
let me-
humorous
let me-
personality, so
let
some
me-
people would say immature.
let me rephrase it.
Okay.
Men don't mature as fast as women.
You said that with the emphasis
Man,
on it.
and she looked you in your eyes when she said it.
I just wanted him to understand
glasses
since
on.
immature.
You
he
meant
wanted
it?
to,
Let me
he
put my
wanted
glasses
to
on so I can see.
transfer the definition. So I just wanted to make sure you understood
Okay.
that men are a little bit more immature. So sometimes men don't grow as fast as women do. So they do need that assistance. So once they do get that bond, sometimes the immaturity of the men and what they may not have seen or the psychological issues that they have may make them think that, hey, you've hurt my feelings or something like that because they've given so much into that relationship.
But what about, so do you think that women sometimes, because it just seems like they're supposed to be the motherly type, that they automatically fall into that even with their man? And sometimes you can have a man who's not looking for that, but a woman automatically try to give you that motherly,
'Cause it's in her.
like
It's in
Well,
her.
some
controlling
people
mother,
are just
like the
nurturers
hover.
like that.
Some
Yeah.
nurturers, but some are like hoverers.
But I think it goes back to when we were saying with the truck and the dial. So you could look at a young girl, her whole life, she's been trained up to be, because look at all the toys she got. It's a dial. It's a dial. She's a baby, but she has a dial feeding
Right,
the baby.
right.
You know what I'm saying? So up until, what?
But wouldn't it
No,
be
I
crazy?
wasn't.
You had
I
that
was just.
smirk on your
I
face.
wasn't. I was actually just. I was thinking about something.
Wouldn't it be crazy if they gave the son the dial and show him how to be a father? Maybe that'd help with a lot of things. That's going
Facts.
on.
That could-
like,
that could be
here's
good.
a dial.
Yeah, but
And
yeah.
practice on being a good dad. I mean, I know it's not the typical gender role, but think about that. Think about if the same way we teach a little girl to be a mother
Mm-hmm.
to the child, are we psychologically telling the little boy that he don't have to deal with the baby? Because he's not to touch the baby doll, he's not to watch the baby doll, he's not
yeah.
to change the diaper, he's not to do the hair.
Right.
None of the things that me, as a father of a little girl,
Mm-hmm.
that I do. Like, I brush the poo hair and all of that,
All
you know?
that. Right.
And so, but as a kid growing up, you were taught not to do that.
Well, I think that's maybe our generation of growing up. You know what I mean? I don't know. When I was younger, I used to hang out with my dad. You know what I mean? Like
I used to work on cars.
he would work on cars. I
worked
usually,
with him.
Hand me that wrench, baby
I
girl.
would- yeah, I would like to try to help and stuff like that all the time, but he'd be like, "Going on now."
Go like
and,
this.
And
She done changed some carburetors in her day.
I have not. But he'd be like, go do whatever. And he'd give me like little stuff to do, like sit in the office and be like, I write on the paper or the tablets and stuff.
keep you
Yeah.
busy.
Yeah, but more like secretarial work type of
Oh,
thing.
Yeah.
okay, yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I was a girl.
Because
yeah.
secretary is supposed to be
A girl.
is a
woman.
And
Yeah.
Earl's
Yeah.
supposed to change the engine.
Yeah, but out in where he would be and like he'd be, talking to other people and fixing cars and stuff like that. He would take me to like the auction and stuff with him, and that was always
Yeah, I'd be
fun.
bidding. Hey, Dad.
Yeah, I'd be like, get that. Yeah, but later on in life, even though I had been learning that as a younger child and like throughout life, when I got older, I had gotten into a car accident and I was in Huntsville, And like I had my uncle, they had put a CD player in my car, all this stuff, you know what I mean? And so when I got into the car accident, I wanted my CD player out of my car.
So you wrenched that thing up out of there.
I
Huh?
did. I didn't do it myself. Like I said, I'm a person who needs a man to
Oh,
do
gotcha.
things for me and fix things for me. So I called my dad, and he was like, you know, I don't have time to drive all the way up to Huntsville, blah, blah, blah. So I called my uncle, and
He
I'm
had
like,
time. They was on horse and carriage or something.
Huntsville? Well, we're from Utah.
Oh yeah,
And
but those
Huntsville
two main
is-
roads.
It's 4 stoplights, thank you.
And they just got a Piggly
And a
Wiggly.
Piggly Wiggly is
They
in
just
town,
got
and a
it.
Dollar General. The Family Dollar just burned down, but that's different. But so anyways, Utah is like about 3 hours, 2.5,
Oh,
3 hours
yeah.
from
You
Huntsville.
wanted that man to drive 3 hours to put take a CD
He is
player
my
out?
dad.
I
What do you
would
mean?
never.
Okay.
You wouldn't do that for the poo?
I was talking about for other people.
Oh, okay.
Exactly. And so, anyways, whatever the day was, he said he couldn't do it. So then I got mad and had a whole tantrum. But anyway, so I called my uncle, right?
So you're a brat.
And so, yeah, that's what I was thinking about earlier. I'm gonna tell you that in a second.
Okay.
But anyways, he couldn't. He was like he couldn't do it that day. So I called my uncle, and my uncle was like he couldn't do it either. So
Uncle Leroy couldn't do it.
no, his name is Sean, and so he couldn't. What?
I'm listening. He couldn't do it either.
No,
So all
so
these men in your
anyways-
life, when you need them, they can't. They didn't show
Yeah,
up.
and I was so mad. And he was like, if you up there in school and you talking to these dudes at school, why can't you get one of them to do it?
Hey, pops,
Uncle
if you
Sean.
watching,
And so,
Uncle Sean.
so
Facts.
You the
my
man.
Uncle Sean was the one that made me realize, like, you know what?
I
I'm
done finna
finna,
smug all this stomach. I got.
I'm finna use them to get what I need to do what I need to do in life.
But
Your uncle
so
is
so
the
do
one
women?
that
Do
ruined
you
you.
women? Do women? Women need to. Women.
All women aren't like me, though.
But men need somebody to need them, and women need to be needed, right?
Yep.
Like a woman wants a man to come and save them, and I'm not saying
All-
that,
yeah,
that's
all
not
of them are-
derogatory.
She don't wanna
Wanna
be saved.
Don't save her. But I'm not saying it in a derogatory
Yeah.
way.
Right.
But as a man, you want to be able to, if that happened, right? And your man was like, you ain't got to call your daddy. I'm
Exactly.
sitting right here. Like I
Yeah.
can take care of
Yeah.
it, right? But then as a man,
That's almost
If
a
you-
slap in the face.
yeah, if you did that and then you came and told me, yeah, I called my dad up here. He drove 3 hours. I'm like, why would you call? Because now your dad's gonna think I'm not a man, and it's like, why?
He
didn't
would
you?
have, yeah.
Yeah, but why wouldn't you let me do it, right? And then tell your dad I did it. So when I asked for your hand in marriage, he say, you did change that CD up out
Because
of that car.
my uncle was like, you
First of all,
talking to
we
people
could have
who
just
don't
bought
know
you a
how
new
to-
CD player first. Of
Man,
all.
it was probably a Kenwood, $98.
Huh?
Just got a whole new car. Just,
Oh, okay.
but
Now, what story you had to tell me about you being a brat?
oh, I was listening to Project Chick the other day.
Of course.
I do like trap music, but I was listening to Project Chick, and throughout Project Chick, Juvenile talks about all these different women, and I never really paid attention to the song or whatever. So, anyways, at the end, he talks about a Project Chick that's like a brat type chick, and I was like, oh, that's me.
I need a project chick, a hood rat chick.
Yeah, but then he goes through the list and he
What's
talks
up?
about.
What's some of the women on the list? Because
Huh?
we're talking about roles and gender.
Right.
Talk
Yeah,
to us about
well,
some of
it
these women
was
on the
like,
list.
why don't I didn't listen to it like take it
You
in.
know,
like,
yo, you
womp,
know
womp,
some of the
womp.
lyrics.
Listening.
You know some of the lyrics.
But okay, so
Yeah.
how about this?
So what
Even-
kind of chick are you?
He said it was
No,
a
what
brat.
kind of
It
chick
was-
are you?
What kind am I?
Yeah.
I'm not project or anything
I
like
didn't
that.
say project, that's
well,
why I
what
asked
do you
what
mean?
kind.
What do you? How do you want me
I
to
don't
define myself? I'm a happy, personable person. You know, I'm friendly.
You just said you don't like
You
people.
just said you don't like
I'm gr-
people.
I said I don't mind people. I'm just not a sociable person, whereas they need to know all of my inner business.
But you're friendly once you get to know them.
I am friendly after I get to know you for sure. I'm friendly before I get to know you sometimes. I'm just not going to be, like, haha, welcome to my world. No, that ain't none of your business.
What you gonna say, Bud Line?
I was going to talk about the roles that the people play in communities. You take it outside the family in the communities. Like you got the old lady on the block, and her job, everybody respects her. She's everybody's grandma or mom or whatever, and her role usually is to be a safe haven, right?
Yeah.
A nurturer for the unnurtured.
That was in the 80s.
Yeah, the unnurtured. Everybody's at their house. and I don't think we kind of had those kind of roles anymore.
No.
It's crazy because those were the times where you built bonds, right?
Granny's having twerk parties now.
And that started off where?
On the plantation.
The plantation.
Twerk parties?
No,
No,
he talking
that was
about
before. That was in Africa. They was doing twerk parties.
because auntie looked after all the kids on
While
the
mama and them was at
plantation.
work.
No, mammy was in the big house taking care of massa's kids, and auntie was on the plantation taking care of all of the kids while y'all was probably out picking cotton.
And you was in there with master.
First of all, I am Aboriginal people from the Carolinas, so we didn't have to go through all of that.
Gullah
them,
Gullah?
them Gullah Gullas, baby, them Seminoles. We didn't have to go through all of that.
So, do
Meet
you
me
think
in 1965.
to go back when
He
I was
his glasses are civil rights. That's the civil rights glasses they wore back in the day. The Malcolm X glasses.
they're
They're fashionable though.
They are. Why do you have glitter on your eye? Was Atlanta
don't.
that good to you?
Man, you know what? I didn't go to the strip club. I don't like the strip clubs.
Which role did you play down there?
Driver, alcoholic.
So you drank and drive?
Yeah.
What?
Get a car in the parking lot, dude.
You're horrible.
That might come back on you.
We checked the vehicle. It was like a little boop. It was, oh,
I did that in college, and they called and told on me.
no one was there. No one's seen it.
Someone's always there.
I didn't think nobody
But-
saw either.
Well, I'm back in Michigan. So
when you think about these gender roles, as I talked about with the young man and the young women, as things are going on now, if they had that a little bit more gender roles, you think that because we got away from those, was that a good thing or bad thing, or what's happening now in some of these communities? How the young ladies are acting, how the men are acting? Have we stuck to the gender rules that was always there? The girl do this, the boy do that.
Yeah, it's gotten way out of control. And then people from like as the generations have gone, like back in the day, they'd be like, oh yeah, you handle my kid or whatever if they get out of control. And then it got to the point where those children were like, oh, I don't want my children to grow up like that. So they'd be like, Miss such and such better not touch my kid, blah, 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 And even though Miss such and such probably wasn't trying to be offensive, she was probably just trying to help develop your child
Trying to
also,
correct them.
which is a part of that whole village thing that people, live by. But with society growing and building, like people aren't into that anymore. So those type of things don't always happen. They're few and far between.
yeah, that's why a lot of young people don't have respect for their elders. But I was gonna say with gender, it's like now how many genders? So now definite two sexes, male, female, right? And then maybe you can get a
Hermaphrodite.
right? And then I think when they're young, does the parent still have to choose which, or does one sex more dominant than the other? I don't know how it works.
Never been in that situation, brother.
Okay, because I know you're kind of kinky, so I didn't know whether you explored or not. Anyway, but so two sexes, but isn't it like now 19 different genders? Because it's like they come up with a new gender every other Sunday.
Well, every time you change yours, they have to add one to the book.
Oh, okay.
So
I actually was in the store the other day, and the person who was ringing me up, I guess I should call him the person because I didn't know what to say. And their name tag said he or
he, them,
she
they.
or them. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how is this happening? Like, how do you I don't even know how you really want me to refer to you because it says he, him, her, them. Like, that's a lot. Like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. Like, I think it's confusing in
So as of 2014, there were a list of at least 58 gender options.
I mean, that's why I just say LGBTLMNOP.
That's a lot. But I think
Wowzers.
Because how do you really define them?
Okay, what defines a gender? A gender refers to the characteristics of women, men, girls, and boys that are socially constructed. This includes norms, behaviors, and roles associated with being a woman, man, girl, or boy, as well as relationships with each other. As a social construct, gender varies from society to society and can change over time.
like ageism.
Yeah, well, I'm getting up there.
No, you know what ageism is?
When
You don't want to
wanna-
get up in ageism.
What is ageism?
Ageism is basically that a person, whatever age that they feel, that's the age that they are. So what they're saying is that the pedophiles are using that
Where they're trying
to
to
be
add
able.
it to, yeah.
Yeah, they're trying to. Now, the LGBT, from my knowledge, the LGBT community is not in agreement with the
welcoming
ageism,
that,
the
yeah.
welcoming the ageism. So they're trying to attach themselves onto them, but then you're trying to really just give them your bad name.
Yeah.
Because no matter LGBT, it's not a negative thing, right?
Right.
But being a pedophile is a negative thing. So you want to
Yeah.
attach your pedophilia onto
Well,
them. So
well-
if you're 34 and then you come to the house and say, "Oh, I feel like I'm 13," and they
Oh,
want to
okay.
date your daughter,
Yeah.
because they feel
But-
like that's what they are.
Well,
Yeah.
in Cali, they passed it to where you have to be 10 years.
So you can date within 10 years.
So if she's 13 or he's 13, and then the adult is 23,
That's
it's-
cool.
That's a fact now?
I believe so. I believe that's law.
Yeah, you may look that up for you say that on camera and they come for you.
You're right. Allegedly.
But I think
I don't
when
even know.
when you add that plus to it, a lot of people try to make that whole plus inclusive to everybody, when in reality it's not a part of it.
So let me ask you guys this: do you think that you can change genders and still, and you're gonna have your same sex, right? That you were born with, but changing genders is just like changing, like he said, the norms and the characteristics of the person who says, "Oh, this is how girls act, this is how boys act," right? But to go even further, if people can change their gender, right? And I don't mean like the LGBT part, but in a heterosexual relationship, all of a sudden, the gender of the man and the woman switch, where the guys typically playing a woman's role by washing the dishes, doing the laundry, staying at home.
Well, you know what's bad about that? Because I just read this thing about what's his name that played
Holiday Heart?
Pirates of the Caribbean. No.
Oh, Johnny Depp.
Johnny Depp. And they were saying how he has been in an abusive relationship.
Who?
Johnny Depp been getting hands put on him.
By his woman?
This is just allegedly. Also, I read it on the internet or whatever. And I think that some men are hurt in a lot of situations, and a lot of men are abused in situations, and the gender roles are changed because some women are more aggressive than what the man is. And
So it's a gender role to be aggressive and beat women? Like that's a man thing?
well, generalizing it, yeah, most people think that men are the only ones who beat women, and that's not true.
It's not. But I think men are less likely to report that their wife is beating the crap out of them.
Right.
But that's what I'm
Because
saying.
as a
But
dude-
that's a part of that gender role where that woman is being aggressive towards him, and him as a man don't want to come out and be like, "Oh, hey, look, my wife is beating me up." Like, who wants to say that?
I'll tell my sister.
Right.
Well, for that California thing, this is from KCRA News 3 in somewhere in California. Sacramento, the governor, the current law is in place. So it says it's a bill. So I guess it hasn't passed yet. It's a bill. The bill would expand the discretion currently granted judges in statutory rape cases, and was prompted as bringing fairness under the law of the LGBTQ defendants. It has something to do with judges say rather the list of someone as a sex offender, right? The current law in place for a decade permits judges to decide whether a man should be placed on California's sex offender registry if he had voluntary intercourse with someone 14 to 17 years old and was no more than 10 years older than the person.
That's horrible.
So if she's 14 and you're 24,
You're good.
you're a sex offender
Yeah.
morally.
You're preying on a kid.
So that is a legit thing right now.
Right. Yep. But the discretion only applied to a man who had vaginal intercourse. The new change permits judges to use the same discretion when the case involves voluntary oral or anal sex.
So for a while, they were just letting them.
The measure won't apply when a minor is under 14, when the age gap is larger than 10 years, or when either party says the sex wasn't consensual. The law does not change the age of consent in California, which is 18. Adults having sex with minors will still face statutory rape charges.
This just shows if they will be on the registry or not. That's what that is.
Okay.
So-
now-
Or if
So
it
with
was
that-
consensual.
Well, what it's saying is that it won't change you being charged.
right.
but the judge can not put you on a registry if it was
Right.
in
So
between
like
those.
in so like in Michigan, if you get anything, even an indecent exposure or whatever, that you on
Make
that
the
list. So you can't move in certain neighborhoods. You can't live so
It
close to a
should be.
school.
That's why all them people living at the Night's Inn.
But
I
when
can't
you
stand you.
when you look at roles in that perspective,
It's
I
true.
think that the roles then of not just gender or whatever, the roles of parents and the roles of the community are not there. Like, how could you even put your name on a bill like that? Like your role as a parent or as a protector in the government, in the Senate or the state or whatever the local government that was trying to pass that, like your role has changed. Is it more for yourself, being self-served, or is it more to protect the people in which put you into office?
Probably the people who would put you in the office, or unless you said, because as we're seeing now, all these politicians are or even politicians, and this is in California,
They're getting
Hollywood,
caught,
all
right.
of that, they're getting caught in all these like pedophile rings and children with being sex trafficked and whatnot. So maybe that's why. But they're funding these politicians, so
Right.
it's a lot of money.
But I just think that when we talk about roles, that's another role, and it's not a gender role, but it's still a role
But-
that's switched. Where
but I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
yes, you did. But go ahead.
I didn't mean to. I did, but I didn't mean to. It wasn't purposely. Oh, hush. All I'm saying, if we're 24, right, and we got a homeboy mess with a 14-year-old, we're not letting that happen. Our role as
As
a
men.
man, not letting that happen.
At all. It's like, come on, man. You can't.
Yeah.
You're 24 and you're going to bring around a 13-year-old.
Yeah.
But people do it.
Literally, it was
I don't think no grown man.
25-year-old.
Yeah, you said that one time. Yeah, before.
I don't think
And-
no grown man is allowed. Like a real man is not. I'm
Yeah,
not
but
saying
then
by
you got-
age. A real man, his role as a man will not allow him to take part of sitting here. Me, Mondo, I'm with a girl, and Mondo with a 13-year-old.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Well, I'm not gonna be with a
But
13-year-old. It's my
sometimes, do
story.
you know how old some of these females are?
If they're 13, I'm sure there's no 13-year-old out there that's gonna trick
I'm not
anybody.
going to be sexually attracted to a child.
Right.
I'm just saying.
And,
I like
and the
women.
ones
I
that-
like
saying
I
the
like stretch
13-year-old.
marks and cellulite.
But I'm-
So
you gotta have been through some things.
Right. That's a woman.
Okay.
If you got stretch marks and cellulite,
Yeah. Let me see your elbows. You got a little black spot right there.
let me
You've
see
been through
if you
some
got
things.
some texture on your side.
Right.
See if you got a little wear and tear.
Never
Or you got that
mind.
cut right here.
That's
from
why
that
I'm like
C-section.
I like that gender. That's
don't
what
know.
I like, that woman gender. That woman gender got stretch marks on them hips and that back. Even if she ain't got no booty, little booty still got stretch marks on it. 'Cause that's gender. Gender
Dudes
equality.
don't get half stretch marks?
Who?
I don't look at. You tell me.
I'm saying they do. Some of them do.
Okay,
Oh,
well I ain't
okay.
talking
Well,
about.
God bless them.
Yep.
But if you look at the roles on there, when we're looking at it, as a man, you're a protector. Like your role as a man is to be a protector. So if you're sitting around with someone who's doing these things to little kids, then how can you call yourself a man? Like
Right.
you're not even playing the role of a man. You're playing the role of what, a get along to get along?
Yeah. But even as a man, how could you, when you realize that this is a child, like you said, well, how you know how old? Because
The
granted,
conversation.
like I said, from deep, you will be walking in the mall, you'll see hips and thighs, and you'd be like, ooh, what's that? And when you get close and you realize that's a child,
You feel
something
bad.
in your mind is just gonna, and you're not gonna give it a second thought. You ain't gonna look again.
Everybody is not psychologically wired like that.
Well, then
people are socially, psychologically confused sometimes, and it depends on what their stimuli is. And some people's stimuli give them this feeling of urge to like whatever they think that they like. In reality, they shouldn't even like that.
So would
Or
that
act
mean
on it.
that? So would that mean that
Correct.
pedophilia is a mental issue?
I again cannot answer that question because I am not.
You are not on
I-
the. You are. Where's the judge at?
She's on the
Where's
road
Where's the
right now.
jury? Where's the jury?
Pleading the fifth.
I'm just saying
I do not
I
recall.
am not educated on that particular thing.
So let's talk about politics then next week.
No,
That's what you're educated on,
Right.
politics.
I'm just saying that's just not an answer that I can actually answer because it's just only an opinion that I can give you.
Is it humble?
It's a humble opinion.
It is a
That's all that
humble
matters.
opinion.
But
yeah.
so what's your role? I know we talked about what role you want people to play for you. What role do you think that you play in a relationship, as far as gender wise? Like, what are you bringing to that relationship?
Oh, I don't know. I'm just like a comforter. a giver, I guess. Still a
So you're bringing that comfort
See,
and
that's
giving.
the thing. Men are supposed to be the givers. Women are the receivers.
well, I'm not
By
a giver
nature,
of
by
like,
nature, you're a receiver, and by nature, men are givers.
Oh,
That's like opposite.
No,
But
we
oh.
give, they receive. Nature. Think about it.
Okay.
Think about it.
No.
They receive it.
Yeah, they do. But they give. They
well,
give
yeah,
life.
but I'm more of
Yeah.
like a nurturer or like a giver in that
You're,
sense.
you're an
Yeah.
incubator.
I guess you want to call it that.
Yeah.
I'm not.
I'm
holding
smarter than
any
y'all, so that's
water.
how I know this stuff.
Yeah,
I knew you was. The moment you repeated kindergarten, I said he's gonna be super smart. Nobody's gonna tell him anything.
No, but I know.
I am
know.
like
I know
a
what you mean.
nurturer.
though.
I don't want to
You're-
like
you're a
completely
giver.
feel like I'm a babying a guy or
Yeah.
anything like that. I don't like to
You
do
just
that.
like to make sure people are good and comfortable.
Yeah, and I just like to, I always want for the best when I date guys or, see guys or whatever.
Alright,
What
fine, I
about
gotta
you,
get
Mondo?
I'm clearly.
But I mean, you said that you know a distributor you can find for me. So as soon as you find a distributor,
I
I'll
gotta
let
find
him.
Tasha one too.
Listen, you said
Your job.
you was out here finding the Polish dogs with no buns.
Sure was.
Whoa,
You said that.
No, I didn't
You
say
said
that.
you had a surplus of
She
them.
said that. I said I would
No.
make a phone call.
You did. For
That
the
means you
hot
know where they
dogs.
at.
No, I said I'd make a phone call.
The
So,
hot dogs
Mondo,
with no buns.
So,
what do you think you bring to a relationship as far as gender roles?
as far as gender, I mean, like you said, I work so I can provide. Can I? And then with providing is more than financial, right?
Right.
I can provide some protection. But listen. If it's a mouse or a bat, I'm not protected too much. We both.
But that didn't work out the first time, right?
What?
That's how you got. No.
Don't stop that, Julian.
Honey. Oh,
But-
y'all got jokes.
Anyway,
Right. No, so,
Carry on.
provide, protect. And I'm just more of like a caring person. Like, if you're in my life, kind of like what Daph was saying, like, I'll do everything that I can do, to try to make things happen. Maybe the things that you want, I might not be the person who can do it. Like, you might not need for me to provide for you. You might not need for me to protect you. It's just all, I'm just loving and I'm humorous and I can bring a smile to your face. And,
As long as
See?
you let him out of the friend zone.
and
Yeah.
I think me too, man. I'm just like a person. If I'm with you, then I'm down for you. I'm riding for you. And whatever capacity that you may need me in, then I want to fulfill that need. But I'm always going to be the person who try to provide and try to make whatever it is ends meet, and to always lift stress. Like that, I think your job in a relationship, my role as a man, is to make your role as a woman less stressful.
See, and that's what I want to talk about earlier, helpmate. So I know they always say, well, you got to find a helpmate. So I want to end it with this, like, and I know sometimes the Bible tells us about submission, that the woman should submit to the man and the man submit to God. But I think we should submit to each other, right? Because this is 2020, and I think we should be both each other's helpmates. So whatever I can do to help you, propel you into what you're doing, and then you do the same for me.
I think
all.
that submission means that I'm going to submit to her strength, and then she submit to
your
mine.
strength.
And so that way we'll always be a unit and be together.
Yeah.
But
Because we're a movement.
we're
Yeah.
a movement. So, in my humble opinion, I think that gender roles are sometimes
Stupid.
stupid and can cause more harm than good in the long run if you just pigeonhole what this person is supposed to do. I'm Will, that's Daph, that's Mondo. We appreciate you guys. Keep those opinions coming. Keep them humble. And don't forget that little funky $25 for the
$25.
t-shirt. That's it. That's all it costs. We
Sweatshirt.
love you guys. Sweatshirt, t-shirt, hair rag,
Like,
buy something.
share.
Like,
Subscribe.
share, subscribe the YouTube channel.
Subscribe to YouTube. Subscribe.
Okay,
I didn't say
we are out.
subscribe.
I was just trying to make it clear because they hard-headed.
They
All
are.
we actually do was to subscribe.
I know if you was
I
trying
can't
to
even get it out.
running them words.
We give them one
like,
job.
Just one job. Only thing, we provide content. They provide a subscribe click. That's it.
They can't even do that. But I got faith in y'all. So let's see how many we can get. Peace out. young man. Awkwardly
Yeah.
social.
Man.
This, Matt, do me a favor. Cut the tape.
No, why?
Cut the tape, Matt.
What's wrong?
Matt, cut the tape, please.
Yeah.
Yeah.